Hi everybody. Yes, I'm gonna start doing videos. I have a lot to talk about. I've been thinking about doing videos for some time now, and it's really all about doing the things that we say that we're going to do, but actually doing them. So I'm a mother, and so I'm all constantly telling my kids, are you actually going to do it, or is this something that you're talking about? So I've been talking about this for the longest. So I'm actually doing it. So welcome to my Grwm Chit Chat. And the reason what really motivated me to start, I want to do this one today, is because I've been having the hardest time of my adult life. I've had a very rough childhood, but as far as my just being an adult, it's been hard. It's been hard. So I wanted to have a Grwm Chit Chat to talk about some of the things that I'm going through right now. And so let's just go ahead and get right into it. And I got actual real tea. Okay, so I've been married for some time now, and I want to talk about how I met my husband, my current husband now. One of my girlfriends was down and out, and we went to her house. We went to go pick her up and take her out, and so just like a girls' night. It was just a regular girls' night. We're at a club, and now let him tell the story. He's gonna tell a different version of the story, but it's always like that. It's his version, your version, and then the truth. But I try and be true in how I tell a story, and not try and be biased, and try and tell the story the way I want it to be told. I try and be like real with it. So even if I really like screwed up or something, I'm gonna say like I screwed up big time, or I did something silly. I'm not afraid to admit that I did something that I wasn't supposed to do. But anyway, so we're at this club. It's a girls' night out. Now, mind you, I had just got back from Jamaica. It was like my 30th birthday party, and my sister, God bless her, for the first time in my life, I went outside the country, and I went to Jamaica. And I hadn't been with anyone in a long time, and that trip to Jamaica really tested me. But I wasn't gonna like just go there and just hook up with a random stranger. I know it happens, and I'm not judging you if you've done that. I get it. Like that's what this tea is about today. I get it. Like I'm really rethinking a lot of things in life, right? So I just got back from Jamaica. We went for a girls' night out. Went to go pick up my girlfriend. So we're at the club, and I hadn't hooked up with anybody for like it's been a long time. And so we were out, and in comes to the room this big, tall, just drink of a man, big, tall, handsome guy. And I seen him. I wasn't, I didn't say anything, but I kind of eyeballed him, and I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna let my hair down tonight, And so he just looked at me. He just studied me for like an hour or two. He didn't say anything. He just looked at me. And something inside of me said, well, either he's going to, come up to me, or maybe I'll go and say hi to him. Like normally I don't do things like that. And I don't suggest you doing things like that, but I just said that inside of me because it had been a long time for me. It had been a while. I have been talking to other people at the time, but it wasn't to the point where I wasn't with anybody at the time. Just leave it like that. And so finally, what happens is, and what I'm going to suggest, anytime you're in that situation and you see a guy and he's looking at you like he's interested, and he's not even walking over to you, you just continue to have a good time. And that's what I did. I just continued to have a good time. I started dancing. This guy, just a random guy, and came up to me, really, good looking too, and we danced. And as soon as that happened, of course, then he wants to come walk over to me. Whatever, right? And so, he finally came over, and black guy with a British accent. I was just like, sold. Stupid, right? Lord, no. Okay, no. no. So we talked then, and it wasn't really, when I met him, I wasn't really thinking about anything serious with him. I was just having a good time. And he told me he was in town from London. And told me he's in town from London. This is back in 2012, okay? That's how, just trying to give you a time frame. And it was around New Year's Eve. And so he had invited me to a New Year's Eve party at a church. Now, I had already had a date, but it was kind of like a date where we're going to go out and party, and I had a date that with a guy. I was very interested in him. But I said to myself, I've been wanting someone like to be on this kind of like spiritual level with me. And it seems like in my relationships throughout my life, I was the person dragging my partner to church. And so it was just refreshing just to hear him say, like, let's go to church. So I was like, you know what? So I completely blew off the other guy. Like, I was supposed to, I didn't completely blow him off. What I said to myself was, okay, I'm going to go to church first. Lord, forgive me. Okay, I'm going to go to church first. And then after, then I'll head over to the party with the other guys. And, but something happened at that church. When we were at the church, we sing and the preacher preach. But at the end of the service, or during the service, they had you pray. And so he kneeled down to pray, and he gave me his hand, and he's like, come pray with me. And that was like the closest I've ever, it was a very intimate thing for me. I've never felt that close to somebody, just like praying with them. And it was just like on a different level. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna run with this. I'm like, we're gonna do this. So I did not go and see the other guy. So our relationship moved kind of quickly. But we didn't end up getting married until 2015. So we got together in 2012. We ended up getting married 2015. And my girlfriend said that they feel like I'm a little suppressed. I feel like I'm suppressed. And I looked at him and all the qualities that he has. He is a very upright guy. He's an outstanding man. I mean, I feel like right now he's my really good best friend. But I don't want a best friend. It's not what I want. I really don't want to it's good. I mean, it's one of the qualities you should have with someone, but I have to be real with myself and say that I need more than just a really good best friend. And so that's where we are now. Fast forward to today. We just have two different type of personalities. And this is why it's so important to express yourself. All we have in this life is expression. We all are here to express something here on this earth while we're here. And the person that you should have in your life, if you're actually expressing your true authentic self, that will draw in that person, or even the things that you're supposed to have in your life. So I'm just, I'm starting here. I'm starting right now. And I know he's not going to like that I'm even talking about these kind of things, but it's been on my heart, and I have to, do what is in my heart to do while I'm here on this earth. So everything I thought I knew about my life has just been turned absolutely upside down. Everything. I mean, everything from my children to my marriage. So just everything I even thought about myself. So it just kind of makes me just rethink everything, rethink life. So one of the things that happened, we were living in Indianapolis, Indiana at the time, and I got tired of, I wanted something more. I wanted a better scene. I knew I wanted to get my master's. I had just got my bachelor's. But I knew, I'm like, I gotta get my master's. So that was on my mind. And I wanted more out of life. And so we end up moving to Florida. And so I bought a bigger house. I have 3 children. For those of you that don't know, I have a 13-year-old, I have a 16-year-old, and my son will be 20 next month. I know. Exactly. I have a 20-year-old. So when people call me girly, like, hey girly, I'll be like, but I don't know. I don't mind it. And the people that do call me girly, they love me to death, and I'm really good friends, and they're really good clients. I don't know why people call me girly. I'm like an OG, like for real. I don't know. Yeah, that's not good. That's soap your tea. Okay. But yeah. Oh my God. So once I made the move here to Florida, my daughter told me that she wanted to live with her dad. And so mind you, I just bought a bigger house. So I'm like, well, why did I buy this big house if my kids wanted to move in with their dad? And it's like all my life, I always wanted, not all my life, but I was in it before I met my husband. I was in a relationship, and I really, enjoyed the relationship. However, it was one of those things where the person would rather me not have my children. And they had asked me to, it's like, hey, I really want to get serious with you. Let's make this happen. However, he wasn't very serious about my children. He wasn't involving the children. And so he had actually asked me to send my children to their dad. And I actually thought about it because, he said to me, and I know it sounds horrible, but, he just looked at me. He's like, listen, you're whatever age I was at the time. He's like, you haven't even got your bachelor's. See, I hadn't even got my bachelor's. He's like, it's time to do it now. Let's get to business. Let's make money. Let's focus. Let their dad, it's what he told me. And I thought about it. I was like, maybe he's right. So I said, maybe he's right. But I was like, you know what? No. So I ended the relationship. I'm like, listen, you want my children to leave, and, you don't want to be with me because I have 3 children. That's fine. I'm like, I'm not choosing you over my children. And so I said no to that. And, but then later on in life, my kids are like, I want to go move with my dad. And I'm like, really? So, which is okay. I'm joking about it now, but they have a really great relationship with their dad. And I'm blessed to have, that their dad is involved in their life. So, but it was kind of at the last minute. So my daughter, back to my daughter. So she went to move with her dad, and, I bought a bigger house, and, but I had, so it was my 2 sons, my 20-year-old and my 13-year-old. They were younger at the time, but so my oldest was here, and he was going to college, and he was like 18, and he started dating somebody that was like 25 years old. Oh my God. I went through a thing. I was like, you know what? Yeah, so he took her out on a couple dates, and I really didn't understand what was going on. But what was happening was she was, maybe God sent this person to him to encourage him to, go into the Air Force. She was a veteran. And yeah, so she started talking to him about the military services. So my plan for him was for him to go to a local college right here by the house, like literally 3 miles up the street, and go there, get his bachelor's, and then from there move on with his life. And then my youngest, once my oldest left, decided to go ahead and go into the military. We kind of decided for him because he was just really focused on girls, and we're like, you know what, this ain't I'm not about to be called grandma and you're not established. I don't mind having grandchildren. I know that that'll be a blessing for me, to be able to see my grandchildren. Oh God, I can't even believe I'm having this conversation. Exactly, midlife crisis, right? Oh God, but it's not his fault. I had him young. I had him when I was 17. So, yeah. But that's another topic. We'll talk about that another time. Yeah, so it's not his fault that I had him young. But I want him to, before he brings children into this world, he has to at least be established. And, I try and stress to my children the importance before they pick a mate of just enjoying each other and getting to know each other, and before they bring kids into the equation, because it changed the whole dynamics of a relationship. And so my youngest, once my oldest left, my youngest was like, man, I'm just here by myself, and he's always, he has a good relationship with his dad, and so he, I don't think he really didn't like Florida so much. I think he's a Chicago boy. That's my Chicago boy. So he loves Chicago, and I've done everything to try and bribe him, and say, hey, And so I just felt like, so he went to go live with his dad. And so it's just been hard. It has been so hard. So I've been sitting in this house all by myself. I have this big house, all these empty rooms. I did have some family members that were struggling. And so, and things weren't working out in my relationship at the time. It's kind of like, just been really busy. I drown myself in work. I was in my last semester of grad school. I just look for anything to just keep me busy, to focus on, to focus less on what was happening in my relationship. Because what we were doing is we were pouring so much into the children, and we completely forgot about each other. Like, completely. And you see this a lot with older people, or with older couples, or or people that have older children. You pour so much into your children, and you look up one day and you forgot to work on your own relationship. And then you're just like, and then the kids are gone, and you're just stuck looking at each other like, okay, what do we do now? There's no more running this person here, or that person there, or teaching this person that, or, my husband has been a wonderful role model, a wonderful disciplinary, a wonderful leader. He has, people from, I don't know if you guys know anybody from England or anybody that's British. It's very, very proper. And I'm not, or, I've learned a lot from him. I've grown from the relationship. I'm still learning. I still have a lot to learn. But yes, they're very proper. They're very, so he's very color inside of the lines, and I'm very scribble scrabble, which I don't mind. You don't have to be like me in order for me to be in a relationship with you, or for me to love you, Yeah, that's not a factor. But I do have a problem when I say, hey, you know, this is the way I color, and you say, well, why don't you color in the lines? And I'm like, you know, so I'm not going to make you try and be like me, and you shouldn't make me try and be like you. You know, you need to be able to appreciate me for who I am, just like I can appreciate you for who you are. So, it's not about airing dirty laundry or anything like that. It's just about just speaking my truth, you know? It's just having this inside and not even saying it out loud, or not even acknowledging it, and just keep going about your day to day, going about your day to day, going about your day to day. And so no matter how hard it is, and it's not ugly, but I realized that all we have in this life. Something happened to me. I was on a plane recently, and I didn't want to talk to my sister about this because I knew my sister worries about everything. But I went to go see my sister. I know I'm jumping all over the place. Yes, it's my personality. Yeah, exactly. I know. So, but I recently went to go see my sister, and on the way back, it was a 3-hour flight. The entire flight was turbulent. Like, it was just like nonstop. It was so bad to the point where the person that was sitting next to me, like, we both looked at each other and we're just like, oh my God. Like, this is it. And being on a plane with turbulence is like having childbirth. Like, when you're on that plane at the time, or when you're giving birth to that child, you're like, I'm never gonna do this again. This is horrible. Why did I do this? I'm not doing this again. And as soon as you give birth to that child and you heal up, and you're like, you know, you're right back, you know, right back at it, you know, with your partner. You just completely forgot how you got there. So yeah, I'm not going to let that stop me from flying. But in those moments, like, I was literally thinking to myself about my life and it ending right there. And I said to myself, I said, God, I asked God this one thing. I said, listen, God, if you're done with me, that's fine. You know, I accept that. I've done a lot. I've seen a lot in this world, right? That's fine. I said, but don't take me right now. Because if you take me right now, my sister will always be guilty. She'll always feel guilty about it. Like, you know, because I went out there to see her. And I was like, don't take me right now. Not right now. You know? And I also thought about, so I'm not, this is going to sound strange, but, so I have a completely different outlook on life, especially since the things that have happened to me, the things that are holding on so tight. And I realized, like, you can't control anything. Life is like water, you know, like you try and like pick up some water and it all falls out of your hand. So you have to, you know, not hold on to anything. You enjoy it. You know, you enjoy that water, you enjoy that moisture, whatever, you know, you enjoy it while you have it in your hands. And, you know, and you don't hold on tight to anything. And that allows, and then when your hands are open, it also allows you to receive. So I'm not trying to control anybody. I don't need any labels. You know, I'm releasing a lot of things in my life. But I'm jumping ahead. Okay, so yeah, so I was about to die on a plane. Okay, let me get back to that. So it's about to die on a plane. And in a moment, I was like, God, like, I've done a lot. You know, I'm like, I've seen a lot. I'm not gonna say 100% happy with my life, but I'm like, I've done a lot. I've seen a lot. I feel like I've been through so much pain and so much trauma in my life that I feel like I'm living on borrowed time. So any birthday, any new day that I see, like, I appreciate the little things. You know, that's why I don't really get excited about a lot of, and it's hard not getting excited about things, you know, because you're supposed to, you know, well, I want this, I'm gonna work towards that. Like, I don't get excited about, you know, there's not a lot that I'll get excited about. A lot doesn't excite me. But in that moment, I realized, I said, I am so suppressed. There's a part of me, there's so much that's in me that I'm not even expressing. And I've just learned that this year of my life, I was in my last semester of grad school. I had different ideas. My ideas were more out of the box. We have a problem, we have to work on it in a group. Their ideas were more cookie cutter in the box. So if I say something, it might sound off the wall to them, and I get it. I'm me, I have my own vision. They're them, everybody has their own vision. So it's hard to do a group project, especially with somebody like me, right? Because I'm telling you, like I got some thoughts that are out there. I get it. But I said that to myself at that moment. I was like, you have to, no matter what it takes, no matter whose toes you step on. And it's not even about stepping on anybody's toes. Nobody, no matter who likes it, who loves it, who celebrates it, I'm just going to set it there. It's me, and that's what it is. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it, love it or hate it. It is what it is. And that's all. That's it. So yeah, the plane ride was a wake-up call. Not that I needed any more wake-up calls than I already had with just it's like everything it was too much happening all at the same time. So my children are gone. I'm like, okay, like I had a baby when I was like 17, so I've always like had children. I'm just now completing my master's. I completed my bachelor's. I did all these things in my 30s, and I'm in my late 30s now. Okay, but a lot of my friends have gotten their masters like years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, and so I'm just not doing all these things, and so it's like not having children. It's like, okay, what do I do now? I have kids, and then my husband doesn't have any either. And then he's talking about having more kids. And I'm like, baby, bye. Child, I'm about to drop this 10 pounds. I keep saying I'm going to drop 10 pounds. But those, oh my gosh. I have a sweet tooth. Yeah. I have a really bad sweet tooth. Cookies, cakes, man, love them. So this has been a wild ride, and all it is just life saying, you know what, it's time for the next phase, and it's just comfortable to just keep everything exactly the same the way it is, and not shake things up. And I mean, it's hurtful. I don't, I want to stay here in this house. I've been here 3 years now. I've owned this house for 3 years, and I like my house, but my life has changed. My lifestyle has changed. My needs, my wants, needs, and desires have changed. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Trying to decide, and I know that it's easy to say, oh, he's contributing this into my life, or he's doing that for me, and just keep taking up his time. But I know that what our goals in life just doesn't match up. He wants kids, and I want to lose like 10, 15 pounds, and go to Clearwater Beach in my bikini. I know it's horrible. It sounds so horrible, but that's the stage that I'm in. That's the stage that I'm in life, and it's unfortunate because a lot of people, I'm doing things that people were doing in their 20s because they had that time. They were getting their degrees. They were establishing themselves in their line of work, and I was at home. I was home with children, and I didn't do that. So I'm kind of on the opposite end. A lot of my friends are just having babies right now for the first time, and I have teenagers, and my son will be 20 in August. So You know, we're all on different paths in this life. And it's not, you know, everybody's path is different. And I'm not going to look at someone else and say, oh, your path isn't the same as mine, or my path is better than yours, or any of that. That's not me. So, all right. So I don't want this video to be any much longer. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. I'm just starting out. I have a ton of video ideas. I haven't done them, but I will do, you know, videos under business, videos under adult content, videos concerning just social issues that we face. So I appreciate you taking time out to look at my video. Love you. Love, peace, and prosperity to all. An abundant life. Remember, be true to you, to your own self be true. To thy own self be true. Is that how the saying goes? Oh, one last thing. How well do you even know yourself? I've been on a journey, right? Do you even know like what day of the week you've been born? Do you know what your name means? Find those things out. I know what, so my name means love. And I was born on a Monday. How about you? Find it out. Really get to know you. Like, how old are you? And you don't know what day of the week you've been born. How much do you really know yourself? These are the questions that I've been asking because of the things that have happened to me. And so they've happened to me for a reason, and I embrace them. It's uncomfortable, but you know, everything happens for a reason. Alrighty, bye-bye.